Good afternoon, gorgeosities. How are you all today? I hope you're well. Who fancies a quickie? Me, I do. Yes, I'm just going to have another little quickie with you today before I get back to the garden. I know, over and over again. So, gosh, what an odd little life we're all having at the moment. This morning when I woke up about 8, and normally I'd jump out of bed and get on with my day. But this morning I found myself just lying there for a while, awake, thinking, reflecting, just sort of letting it all sink in a bit, I guess. And as I lay there, I thought, this is surreal. There's no other way to put it. It's just surreal. Normally, if I'm thinking about friends in New Zealand or friends in New York or friends in South Africa or friends in Italy or friends in Canada or whatever, we're all up to our different things. We're at different stages in the year with our planting, for example. But I lay there this morning and I thought, how bizarre. We're all in exactly the same situation. I mean, that never happens, does it? So I sort of lay there and I pictured my friends in New Zealand and my friends in Canada, my friends in New York and my friends in South Africa, and you get the idea. Just picturing my friends all over the world having a moment just like me of laying there in bed in the morning and just letting it all sink in. And I think it is gradually sinking in, isn't it? Today, I'm going to come on to volunteering a little bit in a minute, but yes, my hair is wet because I've just got back from doing a load of backwards and forwards, dropping things to housebound people. And I came back, I just felt dirty. So I've had a bath. Oh, it feels nice. What's great today is finally our shops are a bit more sorted out. So, for example, I was doing shopping for a couple of people today, and there's a very orderly queue outside the shop going down the street. The shop have put sort of tape markings on the floor on the street. Very orderly. They're only allowing 5 people in the shop at one moment, which is great. It's quite a small, it's one of these, these sort of city supermarkets, one of these metro ones. So yeah, I got my turn to go in the shop, and it was like, oh, this is very pleasant. No rushing, no barging. Went around picking up all my bits and pieces on my different shopping lists and pretty much got everything I needed. There's only one thing I couldn't find, but I got that somewhere else. Great. So yes, I think we're gradually starting to collectively get it into our heads that this is what we need to be doing at the moment. It's not a holiday. We need to keep doing our work if we can, from home obviously, and when we do go out, just keep away from each other, please. So it occurred to me as I was lying there in bed this morning, knowing about some of the things I was going to be doing today within my community, it occurred to me that altruism and kindness are spreading faster than the virus. How wonderful, how wonderful. I'm seeing, hearing about, reading about so many wonderful, wonderful acts from people. It's great. So on that note, I thought I would just quickly let you know, in the UK, if you are wanting to do some volunteering, what you can do. So, for example, a couple of days ago, the NHS put out a call for NHS volunteers. They were hopefully looking for 250,000 people to volunteer. Shortly after 24 hours, I think there was nearly 500,000 people had volunteered. And they've got 4 different categories of volunteering. One of the categories, even if you're housebound yourself, you can still volunteer. Wouldn't that be great? So there are 2 categories involving cars. One, if you've got your own car, is to help with shifting medical supplies and equipment between hospitals. And the other is helping with getting patients to and from appointments, or getting patients home from hospital, that sort of thing. And I think the London Black Cabs are massively going to be helping out there. Great, because obviously the very thing about a London Black Cab is there's a lot of distance between the driver and the passenger in the back, and they've got that kind of window between. Fabulous. So the other two types of volunteers that they're sort of calling up, one, and I love this is for anyone who's housebound or who's self-isolating for the 12 weeks because they're in one of the high-risk categories. They're hooking people up to make phone calls. So a really simple idea of just making a phone call to someone else who's housebound, who may be feeling really, really quite lonely. And let's face it, loneliness can be painful, can be physically painful. So I love that idea. And then the final category, and this is the one I'm doing, but I'm doing it with a local group, is the shopping and prescription collection and dropping off. So I've become a drug runner. I was thinking about this yesterday. I went to 2 different pharmacies to collect various prescriptions, and then I was all around the neighbourhood dropping off. And I thought, I'm running drugs. I should just say, in case there's any weirdos out there watching this who think it's going to be worth mugging me in the street for what I'm carrying, no, it's not. I'm not allowed to do it with controlled drugs. So, for example, morphine. I'm carrying really boring but very necessary drugs. So they're not the kind of stuff that's going to get you high, so don't bother mugging me. Anyway, so if you're feeling well and healthy, if, like me, hang on a sec, slurp. If, like me, you're an ex-nurse and you feel really gutted about not being able to go back to work for whatever reason, there's still something you can do, something really useful, something really positive, and I'm really, really happy to be helping out in my community. And it's not overly tiring for me physically. I'm doing what I can do. And it feels good to help. So that NHS Volunteers one is organised. If you go online and if you type in Good Sam, good with a capital G, Sam with a capital S, one word, and I think it means it's like Good Samaritan. So have a look, Good Sam. Also, you can volunteer through the RVS, which is the Royal Voluntary Society. They're doing loads of great work, matching people up, people to help, housebound or whatever. Also, the Red Cross are doing similar things. There are tons of local Facebook groups. Obviously, I think some of the more local Facebooky type things, they will be a little bit limited in what they can do, just because some of this volunteer stuff will require DBS checks. That's checking our criminal background. Ooh, I don't have a criminal background. But no, on a serious note, there are some things where checks need to be made, because obviously all of this is about volunteering to help the most vulnerable people in our communities. So I was being silly for a minute, but I do take it seriously. Anyway, yeah, so have a little look online in your neighbourhood, see if there's something you can pitch in and help with, but only if you are well and healthy. And says she, itchy nose. The great thing for me is, of course, because I live on my own, I don't have anyone coming and going. There's no one else to be bringing the virus into my house unwittingly. So it's a safe assumption as I can make at the moment that I'm virus free. I've had very limited contact with the outside world for weeks now anyway. And when I'm doing two of my care jobs, I actually am inside the home of those individuals but away from them. But the rest of it, it's a case of, it's a doorstep drop, a knock on the door, move away, that's it. So it's contact free. So hopefully I should be able to carry on doing that. for as long as necessary. And I just found out about another thing which relates to the garden. I'm going to have to prune that Taunton Dean because it is a monster. It's huge. And it's way more than I can eat. Now, normally, you know, if I've got a bit of surplus, I don't often have surplus, but if I do, I give it away to my plot friends. But this time, I'm not going to. That's daft because they've all got plots. They've got their own veggies they can eat. So I've been talking to a local business and they are going to be doing some vegetable box drops for free. So free, the vegetables are going to be free, the drop is going to be free, again to local vulnerable people in the area. So I spoke to him yesterday to say they're planning to do it, I think it's on Saturday. So I thought Friday I'll go to the garden and I'm going to have as much out as I can. So the Taunton Dean, the last of the carrots and parsnips, which they'll be past their best, but they'll be edible. And I've got plenty of stuff in the freezer for me. A load of chard. I'm going to go through the garden and see what I can take out and give to this guy. And that'll be divvied out into boxes to go around the neighbourhood. I love it. I just love how everyone, well, not everyone, the majority of people are pitching in whatever way, and those who can't, those who are vulnerable, people are staying at home. Brilliant. That's one of the best ways you can help at the moment, is to stay at home. Yay. So brilliant. This altruism spreading faster than the virus. I am loving that. Now, in other news, a bit all over the place today, as normal. It's because I'm having an interaction. It makes me giddy. Oh my goodness though, I've got to say, my social life this last week has been better than ever. I've been going out pretty much every night. It's crazy. So it started, it was last Friday it started with going to the pub with Richard and Paul via video chat. But since then, I've gone out almost every night. I'm meeting up with friends on screen all the time. I've caught up with friends I haven't caught up with in the last year, 2 years. It's been fantastic. And then last night, Richard and Paul hosted a pub quiz. So I went off to the pub quiz. I might have met someone in the pub, I might not have done. I was joking that I'd pulled at the pub. Get your coat, love, you've pulled. I don't know, I wonder how people are managing the dating scene at the moment. Ew, no kissing, stop it. I don't care, I'm not into the dating scene. I haven't got the time or the energy. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is there's just so much going on to keep us connected, to keep us entertained. It's almost too much. I'm having to choose. And I was chatting with my sister yesterday before I went to the pub. She's now working from home and, oh, God love it, really, really stressful work situation. So to have that at home as well, doubly awful. And I was asking how my brother-in-law was coping with having her at home. And she's like, put it this way, I'm going to send him off to the virtual pub in a minute. So it seems that virtual pubs are popping up everywhere. In fact, I think I've got an invite to a virtual pub in Scotland on Sunday. Does that mean I'm going to have to drink whiskey? I don't like whiskey. Ooh, I don't like shorts in general. Right, so what else did I want to talk about? Oh, yes. Thank you, Virginia, for your lovely letter, which came yesterday, which I think was the 24th of March. Excuse me if I've got the days wrong. You wrote it on the 24th of February, so it just shows, I think the post is taking a little bit longer at the moment. Let's be nice to our postal workers as and when we see them, because you know, they're still at it and they're coming quite close to us, aren't they? Anyway, Virginia, thank you. I loved the letter. I really wish you well getting your, what's become your spare room sorted. That it really touched me when you told me about that. You know why. but also for the contents, the bill. And this is, it just says, enjoy the moonflower. What the heck's a moonflower? I've got no idea. I seriously I've no idea. I've never heard of it. But how fantastic, because that now means I'm going to have a bit of fun online looking up what on earth a moonflower is. And I'm sure right now there's half a dozen of you shouting at the screen telling me what a moonflower is. By the time you're shouting, I'll have looked it up. Thank you, Ginny. I really, really appreciate that. Gorgeous letter, gorgeous contents. What have I got here? Ah, yes, I've got another little list in front of me to share with you. So, tons of my friends have got kids. It's weird. I kind of have two tranches of friends, as it were. Oh, tranche. Listen to me, tranche. A bit of Richard. Tranche. Tranche. Do you like that, Richard? Yeah, I've got sort of two tranches of friends. I've got my friends similar age to me. We were either at uni together or we moved into our first house together in London, me and 5 other girls. It was crazy, it was good. So the friends I have that are my age, their kids are now teenagers. Some of them, actually most of my friends now have at least one kid off at uni, although they're now back home, aren't they? But then I've got a whole nother tranche of friends, which is my sort of nurse friends or sort of local friends I've made later on, whose kids are much younger, in the sort of 4, 6, 7, whatever range. And they've been telling me about all these wonderful online resources for their kids. So I thought I'd rattle through these to share with you, to give you some ideas if you've got kids or grandkids, because I know some of you are legal guardians for your grandchildren, or it may be at the moment that some of you have got the kids with you because parents are away working, whatever it is. So here goes for all your various subjects, your school subjects, which you can carry on with at home in a fun way. These are all online resources. So let's start with, probably a lot of you know that Joe Wicks, who is a sort of, he's one of these kind of fitness lifestyle guys. He is doing a YouTube PE class every morning, Monday to Friday at 9 o'clock. I've had loads of pictures sent to me by my friends of their kids in front of the telly doing the workout. Actually, I had a picture from a friend. Her kids weren't doing the workout. She was doing it with the dog. Hi, Holly. Very funny picture. So PE every morning at 9 o'clock. Brilliant. Get the kids started, get their juices flowing, get them ready for a day. Then, I love this one. This is via Facebook with Steve Backshall, who is the kind of, how would you describe what he, I don't know his background. It must be something to do with botany, biology. He's natural history, but he's quite like rugged and let's go into these kind of mad, scary places that you shouldn't really go because you might, I don't know, fall down a hole and disappear forever. I think you all know who I mean. So Steve Backshall via Facebook is doing a wildlife strand every morning, Monday to Friday at 9:30. So if your kids are particularly into natural history and scary animals, I think they'll probably love it. And I think he's doing that as a sort of question and answer type scenario. Not sure. Check him out anyway. For science, you can tune in via YouTube to Maddie Moat. She's doing her science classes Monday to Friday every morning at 11. So this is quite nice. I hope they've coordinated like this on purpose so you can make the most of all these things that are available. If you've done your bit of science at 11, then at 11:30 every day, if you fancy, you can do a dance class with Oti Mabuse. She's the gorgeous dancer from Strictly Come Dancing. Is that what it's called? I don't watch it anymore. But she's just got this gorgeous, vivacious personality. Absolutely adore her. So that's every day at 11:30. That's via Facebook. And then what else have we got? Mylene class is doing music. So she was in one of those girl bands, wasn't she? But actually she's a classical musician. So she's doing it via her YouTube channel. The next class is on Friday the 27th. But from what I've read, I believe she's making everything free to access all over again. So I think there's all sorts of different classes from previously you can look at. Also, this is also on is it on Facebook or just on the internet? Carol Vorderman, God love her, the nation's mathematical sweetheart. She has maths classes on her website called themathsfactor.com. So she's made all of that now free access, because I think you had to subscribe to it before. But the whole of her site, or the Maths for Kids, it's free access as I understand it. So great, keep up with your maths. And I know maths is something that so many people struggle with. And I think it's going to be one of those subjects that you're probably going to think it's you I'm talking about now, but probably parents struggle with too. So they struggle to help their kids with their maths homework. Oh, do you know what? If I had the time and the energy, I don't have the energy, that's the thing. I would love to do an online maths class because I adore maths. I'm nuts about maths. No, I've got too much on my plate already. Two more things. There's cookery classes on YouTube on Mondays and Wednesdays at 4 o'clock with Theo Michaels. I don't know him, but apparently, yeah, on Mondays and Wednesdays at 4 o'clock, he's doing a kids cook along. Great. And, you know, at the moment, let's getting the kids to learn to cook meals from scratch. What a great life skill we're giving them. But you're kind of killing two birds with one stone in a way, aren't you? Because doing a cookery lesson with them, getting them to make something from scratch, you're keeping them occupied for a little while. But two, you're going to get a meal out of it because you're going to have to cook the dinner anyway. So why not get the kids involved? Like I said, it keeps them occupied. It's teaching them a fantastic life lesson. And then you get dinner out of it. Woohoo! And then finally, I love this one. This again, it's on his website. David Williams is doing a free story every day at 11 o'clock in the morning. That's on his website. So I wonder, it might be one of those things that if the new story comes up at 11 in the morning, it might actually be a nice thing to share at sort of 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening after the kids have had their tea, just to help them start to wind down a bit before bedtime. It's just getting all back to that whole idea of routine, isn't it? Giving them some sort of structure. Yeah, we all need that at the moment, don't we? Right, I'm waffling on now. I definitely need to get back to a little bit of structure. I think, though, that this week I've done all sorts of bits and bobs to clear my own desk, to get a few things sorted that have been nagging for ages, working out in terms of timing and time slots where I can best help out in my community. But fundamentally, I am going to now have to A, get back to the garden, and B, get back to sewing. I've got a business to run. It's not like I've been sent home from work on 80% of my pay, so suddenly I'm at home every day and I'm free to read a book, paint a picture. I'm not free. I need to work because at the moment we're waiting on an announcement, but at the moment there's zero support for self-employed people. So if my income suddenly drops to £20 for the whole month, I need to keep working. Right, the new norm. We're fine. We've got this. We're cracking on. Just bear that in mind. I think that it's really helped me today, actually. Just that thought that altruism and kindness is spreading faster than the virus. Let's spread the good stuff, those of us who can. And if you really can't be out, please do the best thing and stay in. I'll see you all again really soon, I hope. It really will be it's got to be in the garden, hasn't it? It's nearly April, for goodness sakes. I haven't got any spot trenches dug. It'll happen. I'm not worried. So if I'm not worried, that means you don't need to be worried either. Let's just all have a little moment of Zen together. See you really soon. In the meantime, look after yourselves, look after each other, look after that person 3 or 4 doors down who's on their own, who you've never properly spoken to before, but maybe just go and pop a note through their door to let them know. Maybe give them your phone number, say I'm here if you need anything. Good stuff. Bye for now.